All right. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Slice of Shonen Podcast. I am your host on the boat, Sailor. And listen, we may have been 2 minutes behind schedule, but we as a council were just wondering, we were talking, we were like, that Baka fellow certainly has a weird case. Why is he around? And that was a topic of discussion for a little bit, but we got to the bottom of it. You're welcome. It's all good. But anyway, welcome back, everybody. Whether you're listening live or after the fact, we appreciate you guys for checking us out. Of course, it's not just me. I have my Ensemble of Excellence here with me. Let me run down the lineup. We have the Cookin' Taco. We have the Adam, aka Jigga, who is currently nerfed from having a wisdom tooth removed. So everyone say thank you, Adam, in the chat. He's being a brave soldier, being with us this stream. Also,
keep my ass down, that's for sure.
True and truing. Also, make sure you guys go check out his channel, linked down in the description below. And then go tell your friends about it. Have them all subscribe. It'll be a great time. Of course, then we have the Silver. We have the me. Hey, how's it going? And then, of course, we have the Zenith Annie Manga, whose channel and Patreon is linked down below. Make sure you guys go tell a friend about those as well. Have them support it. That'd be pretty friggin' cool. But with all that being said, fellas, is there anything you'd like to say before I start looking at these comments, before we dive on into this podcast here? So truing.
I like that you ask that every week knowing that no one's gonna say fucking anything.
Now hold on, what if there's a week where one of you guys really want to say something? There have been times where you guys have said stuff.
Bro, it's never gonna be worthwhile, bro.
All right. You heard it here first.
We got no fucking insightful information, bro.
Silver, we just taught you what Aki meant. I thought you'd want to speak on that. You know what I'm saying? Taco.
I still don't believe that's a real thing. And again, I don't know what the fuck you people are doing on the East Coast.
Hey, man, we're fucking beast in here, all right? Beast Coast over here. You know what I'm saying? Can I get a Beast Coast in chat? Let me look through these comments and then we can get started. Weary Exile saying Chain Soldier released easily the best chapter this week. Sailor, you're eating good with this one. The Fubuki cake is something else. I gotta read those. I have been just studying a whole bunch of Street Fighter 6 on top of editing this AOT video, which I finally hit 3 hours. Bless the heavens. But yeah, I have not had the chance to actually read a whole lot of manga lately. So now that I'm caught up with a bunch of stuff that I've been meaning to catch up on the past few weeks, chore-wise and I guess video game-wise with Street Fighter, I'll start reading chapters again. I'm going to have to read up on that Chain Soldier greatness. Yes, sir. Red Flash saying, yo, it's time. Truing.
I would like to address a comment, actually. We got someone saying, another positive-only podcast, and I got to say, no.
Not happening this week. I'm very sorry.
That was a one-time thing.
Dude!
That wasn't even a one-time thing. That was a half-time thing.
That was a One Piece thing.
Hey,
man.
One Piece, honestly.
Hey, man. One day we will get back to that bit because it was funny, but I don't know if it could be this week. Sword Saint saying that Kagurabachi and Sakamoto days peak. True.
Dude, Sakamoto days was so sick.
Truing.
It was.
I haven't caught up entirely on Sakamoto days, but Kagurabachi peak. That is so true. Let me see. Red Flash saying, I can't wait for Binding Vow Man Sukuna to shit himself when Gojo uses his Binding Vow to sacrifice one of his eyes for insane RCT abilities. Amen. We'll get into that. Zero saying, yes, the fraudulent Ensemble of Excellence, as usual, late again. Also, the Sukuna Fleshlights, crazy name, by the way. We were laughing at that before we started stream. We're so mad about Gojo's appearance in this chapter. It was so funny. Hey, listen, man. Listen, Zero, you may be my number one op, but I think we may agree on this one thing. the thought of Gojo coming back is fucking hilarious for a couple of reasons. But of course, we'll get into that. Kaneki saying, what's up, folks? Hello. Kimono saying, Sukuna about to use the merger as his free revive. Bro gets another revive again, bro. Gets the Phoenix down. Insane. Let me see. Won't lie, Deku calling AFO just a lonely old man was great. Yeah, he's a bitch. I agree. Fuck that guy. Let me see. Yeah. Ensemble of lateness, bro. Listen, we had to ponder why Baka was still around when he has a weird case. We got to the bottom of it, though.
Bro, one day we're gonna start the podcast an hour early, and all of y'all are gonna be late, and we're just gonna be talking.
Yeah, you bitch.
Y'all better be prepared. Y'all better be prepared for that shit.
Hey, one day, yeah, we're gonna I'm gonna set it for 2:30 EST, and then like an hour before, I'm gonna set it for like 1:30, and then we're just gonna start like right then. It's gonna catch everybody off guard. We're gonna be earlier than early, man. Typical.
We're gonna be talking to no one.
Hey man,
We'll
I do it all the
to
time.
each other.
That's true. That's
So no one. Hey man, that's real though. Typical of Sailor being late, bro. Listen, I may not, come at the time where you want me to, but I'm on time. You know what I'm saying? I know you waited a while, but I'm on time. Let me see. I blame Taco for leaving the stove on. Yeah, bro didn't turn it off. Pissing me off too. Can't believe it. He probably has his refrigerator.
Nah, I'm way too paranoid, bro. Bro, if I cook, I make sure that shit is turned off before I leave the kitchen, bro.
Hey, there you go. Practice kitchen safety with cooking taco. Make sure you guys do that too. Kevin saying removing a tooth of wisdom? That doesn't sound very wise to me. No, that just makes more room for Jigga's brain. That's why he had to get it removed.
Ooh.
His brain
Bro,
couldn't exist in his skull.
It.
Okay, didn't help my case. We'll just move on to the next one.
Sorry, I'm reading.
Oh, okay. We'll just move on to the next one. Big Z saying first time catching y'all live. Hopefully you enjoy. Thank you. Let me see. Most profound thing said on this podcast. So true. So very true. Let me see. First up, Gojo is 99% just Sukuna hallucinating. Hey, we'll get to that.
We'll get to that.
Beef Coast. This shout out Sword Saint. Let me see. My goat Takamura. True. Let me see. So glad he answered my question on why Levi likes tea and not why Ymir is a nonsense character. Amen. Hey man, we'll never get to the bottom of that one, Hardy, unfortunately.
Only Ymir knows that one.
Only Ymir knows that one. Jeez. Kaneki saying Adam just use a binding vow to get rid of the wisdom tooth pain. True. There you go. You can just get rid of it.
That's the meds they give me.
Bro, if you sacrifice your ability to feel pain whenever you stub your big toe, then just all of that pain goes away.
You're right.
How
come someone hasn't made all the posts where they're just please give all the terrible misfortunes that happen to Megami to fucking Mei or something? Why hasn't someone just made a binding vow for that yet? Because obviously they just work all the time.
That would be too smart, and we can't do that.
You're right.
That would be way too smart. Throughout the papers and pens, I alone and the fumbled one, Isayama, for sure. True, man.
Huh.
So fucking true. Anyway, let's get into these chapters, man. Jujutsu Kaisen Chapter 260. Fellas, how are we feeling about this one?
I just want to take
It's cool.
I wanted to take a moment to put this in your head. Todo walking up to his doctor and saying with a straight face, "I want you to put attach a vibra slap to my stump."
Hey, man.
What the fuck even is a vibrus? What is that used for?
It's an instrument.
It's
an instrument? What's it sound like?
It sounds
Look it up on
fucking
YouTube.
ridiculous,
That's what I did.
honestly.
Yeah, I was about to say it's sort of like a rattling sound, basically.
Yeah.
The
that's
anime's
the
gonna go hard as fuck.
Yeah.
Dude,
No,
I'm
it's
telling
gonna
you,
get so
no the
fucking
fuck
dumb.
it won't.
Bro, you don't
It's
believe
gonna sound so annoying.
you don't believe in the vibra slap solo, my guy.
Now, I'll be honest, bro. Sailor sent the leak. Like the night the leaks came out.
Oh yeah.
Sailor, like it was just it's the first page.
Yeah.
And Sailor, I forget exactly what you said, but it was something to the effect of, "This is the funniest shit I've ever seen in my entire life."
I was like, bro, what happened to the game I love? This is stupid.
Zenith was the one that was like, "This is the funniest shit I've ever seen in my entire life." And then I fucking looked at it, and I swear to God, dude, I don't, this panel slapped me in the goddamn face.
The Vibra slap.
Like, what the fuck am I even looking at?
Bro,
I
it's
did not
ridiculous.
know either. There was a moment where I thought like, oh, this is fake, because I originally saw it on Twitter like before. It was
Bro,
even
this is
trending.
like we've been saying, oh, this JJK leak is fake for like a month straight now. We were just like, this is wild.
Doing ridiculous shit.
Hey man, I'm not blaming you, but I'm sorry. What were you saying? True and true. Yeah. Yeah. When I first saw this, because I wait with bated breath every Wednesday to see these leaks, and I saw this, my head was in my hands. I was like, holy fuck, bro. It's especially even weirder because the author comment for this chapter was Akutami being like, how do you guys feel about Todo having his hand wrapped up and revealing it when this is the third time he's used this technique today? I was like, what? Yeah, why is that the case, Akutami? What the fuck?
What are you talking about?
That is very strange. But whatever. I mean, that we could go into another conversation about how this shit isn't really planned all too well. But we talk about that enough. Go ahead.
Say that, like, yeah. So for me, I always say this, I don't really get spoiled on a lot of things, and even when spoilers are like posted here, like in our like actual server chat and stuff, I don't really look at them and stuff until like the chapter's fully out and everything.
Yeah, no, same here.
I got like, went to Twitter because I was just like trying to look at this one account that I always do and everything, and then like trending, nothing but fucking JJK stuff.
Yeah.
But it all had to do with the end of the chapter, and I was like, well, shit. Not sure how to feel about that. So I knew nothing about what the fuck was attached to Todo's hand.
Yeah.
And the moment I opened that first page, because I always read it at my work for a live reaction for my friends, I just look at them like, what the fuck am I looking at? Is that a stick shift? What is that?
Oh my
It
god.
is really unfortunate because, like, I don't know. At this point, I'm so checked out of JJK that like, it doesn't really like. It just doesn't do anything for me really anymore. But I'll say this: if I still was really into JJK and this chapter came out, this would have probably been my favorite chapter in the entire series because just the imagery of that fucking thing on his hand and him using it is the funniest shit ever. I think it's brilliant.
And the fact that fucking Sukuna is like, wait, no, this nigga's actually cooking. Like,
Really well. This is the icing on the cake.
It's so
I think it's
stupid
really good.
that it works.
yeah, man.
Well, it's one of those things where
You know.
I have no idea. I have genuinely, because I'll admit I have not been on Twitter this week.
Good for you.
I have no idea what the general community consensus is on the Vibra Slab.
People like
I
it.
think they
But,
like
like,
it.
People like
I
it. Yeah.
love it. Yeah, I think it's fucking.
Yeah, no.
I genuinely think it's like brilliant. Like I think it's so funny that it's so stupid that it wraps back around to being really smart.
Yeah, it's the 9,000 IQ, man.
Exactly.
If it's stupid, it ain't stupid.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, I love it.
be stupid, but it's also dumb.
Yeah, man. Like the fact that this motherfucker, like, he first off, praise God, Todo really is the smartest nigga on this field because he is the first one out of our heroes to make a binding vow.
Yes.
Praise Arceus.
I was like, oh my
Oh
god.
my God.
Fucking thank you.
Finally, chat, a real nigga has arrived. Like,
I
oh,
just made a
Finally.
binding vow to be better. You can do that? Yes. You
oh
can.
my God,
I bought
bro.
the Binding Vow merchant here. They were just all out of stock, but apparently the rest of the crew's just a fucking idiot.
Yeah,
Bunch of
man.
dumbasses.
Like, finally, we have a character on our side that makes an actual meaningful binding vow, because the Vibra Slap would allow him to swap even more, but he's like, nah, I'm gonna limit that just down to 50. I can expand the range of my technique. I can teleport multiple people now. I can teleport things 50 times in a second, which is fucking crazy. And by the way, Lemillion, if you're watching this, I want my apology in the mail, lil nigga, because you were in my comment section last week telling me you don't read the story. Where did you read that Todo got an upgrade to his technique? Here you go, nigga. God damn. Listen, chat, I will never be mad at you for never agreeing with me, but don't try to be rude and book check niggas. And when niggas book check you back, you have nothing to say. I want that apology on my desk today, little nigga. God damn. Listen, man.
This was on last week.
Yes, I just want people, like, it is totally fine to disagree with people. It's totally fine to not see the same thing as people when it comes to art, because art is subjective. But don't be a dickhead, bro. Golly. But anyway, right? Back to Todo being a goat. I thought that was really cool. I love seeing Todo's inclusion in all of these fights. Seeing him come back and him, like, using the trick within the trick within the trick to fake out Sukuna was really cool. I guess we can, like, I mean, not right now, but, like, we can get into the semantics of, like, oh, well, how come Todo wasn't here before? And, you know, all that other shit. But I'm just happy he's here right now. It was cool stuff, man. It was cool.
Yeah. I know someone, I saw this on Twitter at least, where, the moment where, like, Yuji throws the rock so Todo could swap and everything, like, that was inspired by the anime.
Oh, yeah.
That's what he does, yeah. Someone pointed out, like, oh, yeah, so that, if you never thought, like, oh, does Akutami watch the anime? Fucking yes.
This is, like, the third time he's directly referenced the anime.
And I didn't bring this up last time, but, like, you cannot tell me that, like, Divine Flame was also not inspired by the anime now, because I immediately checked what it first looked like. It's like, yeah, it's a big explosion. Nah, that shit directly looks like it is from the anime now.
Yeah, that shit looks like a fucking bomb goes off when it's used in his domain, which is crazy, because I thought about it, because Sukuna's binding vow for that is like, well, I can't use it when I'm outnumbered outside of the domain. So I was sitting there thinking about it. I was like, wait, Sukuna's binding vow is that I can't use this technique when it sucks, but I can use it when it's really good.
I hate it so much because I try to explain it to my friends where it's like, ultimately all the binding vow does is just like, just makes it a big explosion. But it's like, it already did that. So it's like, what's the fucking difference?
Yeah, is something else, but
look, we're talking about this chapter. Which
yeah, let's move on to the.
This is a good
stuff.
chapter. It's cool. I like having Todo back. He's awesome.
He's fucking sick.
I definitely got.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, like all my gripes about the virus slap aside, I do really love having Todo back, because again, if it's stupid and it works, it ain't stupid, and I'm fucking loving
damn
this shit.
straight.
For sure, man. So I guess with all that being said, that brings us to the end of the chapter, and I'm curious to think, and this question goes to you guys as well, chat. What are your opinions on this? Do you think this is Gojo? Do you think it's an illusion? Do you think it's fucking Kenjaku taking over Gojo's mind? How do you guys feel about it? I have my own interpretation of it.
Ghost.
I think... Okay, so I've been seeing several things go around. The first one is that he's back.
True.
And, like, I get it. Because it's... Okay, there are people who have been counting down the days to him coming back. Like, to some people, it is a set-in-stone fact that he is coming back. That it is just a matter of time. That he is gonna come around with some Kenjaku-style stitching across his abdomen. Like...
That would be so freaking nutty.
Yeah, because it would... Yeah!
Like, I like genuinely imagine your whole body being
Here's the
like
problem. The problem with this entire premise, or like the problem with the question, Sailor, is that genuinely, I have no idea because anything can happen.
True.
Yep.
So
To like have an idea, to give a like an honest guess of like, oh, this is what I think is gonna happen next. The series would have to follow some form of logic. That like,
Okay.
oh, based on this could happen, or based on this could happen. At this point, anything can fucking happen. So it's like,
I
There
do
have
think
been
that
some
there is
instances.
some logic behind it, and I can get into it a little later. But Zenith, finish what you were saying.
So there is the possibility that it is just him. I don't think that's it. I don't think he's alive. It literally, a lot of every translation I've seen has used the word like it's a ghost or a vision or Sukuna saw him. Like, it's always just Sukuna saw him, and it's never like concretely his physical appearance, you know, like him physically being there.
Mhm.
So I don't think he's
like,
back.
do you think it's like Gojo's secret son we never knew he had, Gobo?
Say that.
Go, Bo.
No, I think it's a secret son
Wouldn't it-
Bozo.
You think it's Miwa?
Wouldn't it be Bojo?
Bojo,
Yeah,
I don't
It could
know.
be whatever you want, Silver. You can name him, bro.
It could be
Far from
Bronny
the point, if
James.
we're being honest. So the other thing is that it is just literally, it's either Sukuna hallucinating or his literal ghost, which, like, both are probably, one of those is the most likely. Because we also, for example, have that moment when Nanami dies and he sees Haibata there. Like there's a precedent in the series for that happening.
Mhm.
The other theory that I've seen around, this is my not the most likely one because it is most likely just a hallucination. But the one that I like the most is because, for example, we see Sukuna raise up his finger, right? And then we see the speech bubble for domain expansion. But it never directly shows Sukuna saying it. So the idea is that someone else casted their domain, and they were just so cold, so raw that he saw them as Gojo for a moment or some shit like that, you know? Like, which that would be really cool depending on who's coming in. Like, okay, I'm biased as fuck, but if that's like Yuta's comeback in the story, like, bro, you know,
This nigga who he just slashed out of the domain, and he's just like, oh fuck, Gojo?
Hey, to be fair, he let him do that. I don't know why he let him do that. That was a stupid move, but he
So
let
he
him
can
do
this.
It's the sumo dude.
Just, oh yeah, it's the sumo guy. That's so true. He's gonna open his domain. He's like, it's time
That's
for a
so
training arc.
true.
That's for truthity and also true. Zenith, were you done with everything you wanted to say?
Yeah, I mean that's the sum of it all. People may.
All right, cool.
thought.
So, I was gonna tweet out a thread of this, but Twitter on mobile sucks, so I'll have to do it on my actual computer. But I actually believe this is a very real chance that it could be Gojo. Gojo Copers, this is your time. Now, would I be surprised if this is a ghost of Gojo? No, not really. I think there is some evidence for why it could be a ghost, and, you know, they could make that make sense. It would be severely disappointing, but, like, wow, Akutami disappointing his audience? What else is new? You know? So, I do think that this is Gojo for 3 different reasons. Number 1 is that it gives Megumi a reason to live again. And this is something that hasn't really been addressed since chapter 251, when we found out that Megumi has pretty much just given up. So seeing, let me backtrack a little bit. Akutami, if this is Gojo, I noticed that he has not killed anyone who Megumi really has a connection with or cares about. It has been Higuruma, Kashimo, and then recently Choso. So if Gojo is coming back and Megumi sees all of his, like, the people he cares about together again, combined with the fact that Sukuna is the closest he's ever been to just straight up losing, this could actually give Megumi the motivation to fight back and allow the heroes to, like, actually save him. because when Yuji went in the first time and Megumi was like, I don't care, bro, like just leave me alone, there wasn't much he can really do. So this can allow them to get to the next step of their plan, which is to actually save the dude. The second reason is because this deals with the merger, right? Because it was a couple of chapters before 251 where Sukuna got access to the merger. And basically, unlike Drake, this nigga actually has a red button that he could press and just send the world into mayhem. So if he's getting beaten back and Sukuna's like, you know what, fuck it, we're just going to activate the merger, try to get everyone off me and, you know, see where things go from there, Megumi could potentially stop him from doing so. I don't know if that's between like a tug of war between the souls, since Sukuna's soul is being worn down from the outside and Megumi fighting back from the inside. Maybe it's because the merger activation went directly to Megumi's soul and not to Sukuna's, because the manga specifies that Megumi Fushiguro is the one who has the he's the one in charge of the actual activation of the merger. I'm not sure what that really looks like, but I believe this could take care of the merger issue as well. I should say I've never believed that we were going to see the merger. I know a lot of people believe that we will. I have never really believed it. I think Sukuna being the final antagonist is fine. And then the third reason for why I think this could actually be Gojo is just because of the whole idea of teaching Sukuna what love is. Because, again, dragging things back to the fucking Yorozu fight, everyone's favorite, I know. Yorozu is telling Sukuna, like, hey, I'm going to be the one to teach you about love. And originally, I just thought that was a one-off thing until Akutami, like, tripled down on it when he quoted her again in the Gojo versus Sukuna fight. And then Sukuna mentions her and her trying to teach him about love right after that with Gojo versus Kashimo. So this could be a situation where they, like, the combined efforts of everyone together leads to taking down Sukuna, like Yuji being able to survive because of his brother's love, Miguel and LaRue fighting because they love Geto, Yuta's domain name, Maki holding a sword that embodies her love for her sister, so on and so forth. This could be what Sukuna is losing to. And this could be like the lesson about love, especially since Sukuna would be, he would be in solitude as like the king. And if Gojo comes back, I'm imagining he's gonna be weaker. I don't think, then again, if this is Gojo using domain expansion, then like, what the fuck did the nigga have to give up? Because he can't really do that without 6 eyes. I don't know. I'm just imagining Gojo is going to be weaker in some way, shape, or form, so that would allow him to actually fight with everybody instead of what it was with Gojo and Sukuna, where when he fought with people, he would be nerfed. So I don't know what this could mean for Sukuna character-wise, but I do think this could lead into how Sukuna ends up losing. Now, is this perfect by any means? Fuck no. For starters, reverse curse technique becomes the funniest thing in the series. Because how the fuck do you survive being sliced in half? Like, how do you, like, I get it. You know, you have to, you know, you kill the sorcerer, put them in the grave with jujutsu, and blah, 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 blah. But how do you survive that? The fact that not one, but 2 characters in Yuta and more specifically, obviously, Gojo would survive the world slash in some way is kind of crazy. Also, Gojo's send-off in 236 would be wild as well, especially since Akutami did everything in his power to be like, no, guys, Gojo is actually dead, even going as far as to have him not have any regrets so he doesn't come back as like a cursed object, or not a cursed object, a cursed spirit, with him being content with how he died. And then, of course, all of the other issues that we have talked about at extensive lengths here on this podcast, those wouldn't go away either, which is so fucking funny. If this is the case, then the whole idea of you just didn't like the story because Gojo lost, that shit is dead. We still have all of these issues with the story. Gojo is back. That shit would be so fucking funny. And I have said before, I was saying like, hey, maybe it just takes an ass pull to happen to Sukuna for people to realize that JJK's writing hasn't been as great as we'd like want it to be. And now that it looks like that might be happening, I have already seen the outcry. I have already seen
Oh my
people calling
God.
this series Mickey Mouse. I have already seen people saying that this series sucks.
insane.
Yes, I have
What?
already seen people saying that this series is bad, and if Akutami decides to bring him back, this is the worst shit ever. This
That is like, sorry, go on, my bad.
no, I was just gonna say this has the chance of being the fucking funniest chapter ever next week. So, all of that stuff beforehand was why I thought Gojo could legitimately come back, but that last bit, that was all just like the ramifications if Gojo is actually coming back. The reason why I want him to come back personally, because that would be fucking hilarious.
True. Yeah, no.
It's
The only
like,
reason I want Gojo to come back is just simply so I can see like the fucking backlash on this. Because like this is gonna be fucking.
how you
insane.
gonna see it? You don't have a Twitter.
I have ways.
Listen,
Oh, okay. You mean us?
I was about to say
Shut
we can tell him about it. It's fine.
We'll give him the look.
Nah, needless call out, I'm not gonna lie. But no, that's why Twitter is so fucking funny. Cause like that's just the fandom wars, right, man? You'll see a series like not kill someone or bring someone back or whatever, and JJK fans, like hardcore fans, will come in like Mickey Mouse, it's trash, it's garbage. The moment that a series that has killed people off, like without any hesitation, the moment it even hints at maybe doing something similar, it's like, oh, it's Mickey Mouse, it's trash, it's garbage, it sucks. It's like, man, what the fuck?
Bro, and we've talked about it before. I think it was just last week where we talked about it, where a lot of people have put a lot of stock in Sukuna being a good antagonist because he kills people. Boy, would it be fucking funny if this arc ends and all he kills are a lawyer who was a sorcerer for like a month, a nigga who fought farmers and fishermen, and admittedly Choso. Choso's really cool. But I wonder how much stock...
And then it's not ex-girlfriend.
Yeah, right? Like, how much... How much would people value Sukuna at that point if he's not as big and bad as they thought they were? It'll be very interesting. That's why I'm saying, man, this next chapter could be the funniest shit ever, man. We could see the break of the Jujutsu Kaisen community more than it already is, because Lord knows this community's fucking crazy. But, like, man, this could be funny.
Yeah, I personally
Let's fucking
don't think Gojo's
go.
coming back. I think it is just a vision or an illusion, something like that.
Again, jutsu.
Yeah, probably. I mean, like
I
that.
think
At the end
so.
of the day, it probably is. Yeah, he's just like, man, I'm
Yeah.
dying.
I think that's what it is. But I agree with you, Sailor. That would actually be the funniest shit ever. So I would love to see it.
Yeah.
What my friend told me was, and I don't know if you've seen this, Sailor, but like people are saying that it's like one of the vengeful spirits because Gojo is technically related to that one. It's Sagura no Ichizani? I don't know how to pronounce this fucker's name. I'm sorry.
No, I've never seen that one before. I had no idea.
Yeah, because it's like it's a great ghost, and if anything, like Sukuna would probably know because Sukuna is also usually known as like a vengeful spirit in like in terms of history and stuff, and so is this one in real life too as well. But then that just kind of begs the question, just like, well, if that's the case, then 'cause I know I'm shutting down like not even necessarily my own theory, but like just this possibility, because it's like, okay, if that's the case, then if he was, you know, basically a fucking identical to what Gojo looks like, not once in that whole fight did he mention it, but then, you know, chapters way back, Sukuna's like, man, Yuji looks like that one random ass statue in a random city.
Yeah.
Who knows?
I don't know. I was just thinking about it, like, I remember just thinking about it. I was like, I don't know. I'll have to look more into it. And then I started looking more in depth into it, and I'm like, Gojo coming back actually seems a lot more likely than I thought so originally. Again, I would not be surprised at all if this was like a force ghost for Sukuna or some shit. But for the sake of standing on my theory, I will stand on it. I think Gojo is coming back next chapter. Gojo Copers, this is your time. And if it's not, then okay.
I
don't
won't
care.
put my stocks in it, but if it does happen, man, oh man.
Listen.
Man, oh man, I'm gonna be 5 times as annoying.
Listen, I will put my stocks in it. And if I end up being wrong, or if I end up being right, then we can all celebrate. If I end up being wrong, then it's okay. You know, it's fine. I don't hold too much attachment to whether if like Gojo comes back or not. I mean, like I think it'd be cool. I've said for a while I want Gojo to come back because his conclusion was kind of dick butt ass. But like, if this is a Force Ghost, I'm not gonna be like, oh my god, this is the fucking worst series ever. I do think it's funny that Akutami would put himself in a situation open to criticism by pump faking a Gojo return just for, you know, the sake of a weekly cliffhanger. But that's a discussion for next week, I guess. Overall, I thought this was a good chapter, and oh boy, next week could be hilarious.
I think like, man, mangaka, like, they risk it all for the weekly cliffhangers. I am, like, 90% sure that shit is almost always, like, editor interference.
Yeah. It's really strange, too, because... Oh, I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, it's always funny. I think that's been, like, such a huge issue, for example, with, like, MHA's War Arc, like, final arc. Happens all the time. I'm like, this has never been a thing before. What the fuck?
Yeah.
But like, yeah, I mean, we get it here too. I think that's like almost all editor shit.
It's also very funny too because whenever you criticize the series online, you'll see like if I go on Twitter and I'm like, oh, I have issues with this JJK chapter for X, Y, and Z, there's the very real possibility that someone will come across that and be like, bro, just stop reading it weekly, wait until it's finished, like just let it build up.
I hate that.
Which,
well, then you can't praise it weekly.
Yeah, I exactly, Zenith. I exactly, Adam, I agree. But I think it's crazy because like you'll see these chapters specifically designed for weekly formats, and it's like, no, you're supposed to read this all together. It's like, bro, it's coming out in weekly Shonen Jump.
I saw that like for an argument before and stuff where it's like, you guys just don't like JJK right now because of the weekly format. It's just like, dude, if someone were to read this in a volume form or like to fully catch up or whatever, which is like inevitable, basically, someone's gonna do it when the series is fully over. They're gonna try and like see what the hype's about. They're gonna get to this point and they're still gonna have the same problems. The writing doesn't fucking change if it's in the magazine or book form, dude. That shit is still there. It literally makes no sense.
Gotta say though, good chapter this week.
Yeah, good chapter.
Good chapter.
Good
I mean,
chapter.
look how this little cliffhanger goes.
Holds a lot of weight.
We'll see next week.
Dude, 2 funny chapters back to back. I love it.
I do genuinely think someone else is coming into the... okay, one thing that I think is almost certain, I do not think it's Sukuna that's casting domain expansion in that speech bubble. Whether it's someone new coming into field or not, I do think that is like...
Yeah, I don't think
guaranteed.
it's Sukuna. Yeah.
So
It's
we'll
gonna
see
be
what that is.
Kashimo, man. Invest in the stocks. It's Kashimo. He's back.
Bro, the market's crashing.
Hey, man. Just you wait.
Bro. Dude, forget crashing. That market's been flatlining for a long time now.
Listen, we're about to bring it back, man. The stocks, listen, man. Invest in Kashimo coin. That shit's gonna go to the moon, bro. It's gonna be crazy.
Kashimo coin.
What do you mean we?
Bro, you don't want to invest? What the hell? I thought we were a team in this. Bro, listen. I listen. In order to hit this, you know, I can have 10 turn to 100, 100 turn to 1,000, 1,000 turn to 100,000, 100,000 turn into a milli. I just need you to give me like a smooth $350. Can you do that for me?
Fuck that shit.
What the hell?
Wow, that's your friend.
That's what I'm saying, man. Chat, can I get an L-Mans? Can I get an L-Mans in chat? But yeah, That's pretty much all I have to say in terms of dialogue options for JJK. So let me look through these comments, and we're gonna see
so
what's going on.
much.
Yeah, we have a ton of them. I'm not gonna be able to get through all of them because goddamn, y'all are chatting. I love it. Comment all types of stuff, man. If you comment more often, then there's more of a better chance of it getting read. True, and that is truing. Let me scroll to where I was before. Everyone is coming up with Gojo theories. I'm just excited about Todo. True. Very true.
That's so real.
Very true. Twice just saying Todo. True. I agree. Gege really decided to troll his fans. Hey, man, we gon' see if the Mickey Mouse domain expansion opens next week. We'll see. Let me see. Gojo didn't have a high enough IQ to make any. Damn. Hey, man, this is just how it is. Todo's really the smartest. With binding vows, the goat Todo really wasn't lying. He is a motherfucking supercomputer. Amen to that, man. He is the smartest nigga in the series. Right next to Sukuna, he's there. This man came in, and Sukuna was just like, wait, what the fuck? He made a binding vow against me? Nobody's done that before. Hold on, this nigga may be smart. this nigga may be a genius. Wait a minute, what the fuck? Hey, man. Well, actually, Hakuri did the first binding vow against fucking Pikachu. Hey, man, listen. That shit didn't mean anything. We don't care about that fucking merchant. Bro, chat, I want you to realize that if Gojo comes back to life, this nigga Gojo has died. We went through all of these trials and tribulations. Gojo came back to life, and this nigga Hakuri is still fighting Uraume. Can we please?
Todo came back. Gojo came back.
God
and, like,
damn.
5 people died before Hakuri was done fighting Uraume.
Fucking Yuji went from Mr. Punch and Kick to RCT, blood manipulation, shrine, black flash out the ass. Todo is back. Gojo is back. We had a whole domain thing with Sukuna. He busts out Fuga, and this nigga is still fighting Uraume.
Yuta had time to fight 2 people in 2 different places. And Hakuri still
Bro,
done.
not even that. Fucking Yuta had the chance to go fight Kenjaku, run his ass all the way back into Shinjuku, and then fight Sukuna. And this nigga is still, shit, man. I don't know. Listen, fucking Uraume is crazy, dog. Uraume, hey, they might be a goat. That's just all I'm saying. Chat, also, is Yuta a fraud? Todo helped him out. He didn't just speed blitz Kenjaku. Is he a fraud, chat? Is he a
I'm
fraud?
like a little, like, because the sound effect is the same, but it's also portrayed really differently. I'm really unsure about that one, honestly.
It was confirmed that was the case.
Really? All right, well,
Because
we'll
Akutami was like, yeah, this is the 3rd time he used it, and then he said that he went
That's
with Todo
true.
to he went with Todo. He went with Yuta. So it was like it looks like that's just the case. I wish it was just Yuta speed blitzing the nigga, but hey, I like Todo, so yeah, I like Todo, so hey, effective.
I mean,
plan.
that's just the thing. He will never let Kenjaku be a bum, even though he did. But you know, that's whatever.
The fight beforehand says otherwise, bro. I don't know.
Well, it's so weird because he like, it's like he's aware that people call Geto like a fake special grade because he like goes out of his way to stop that. Like, there's the whole thing where it's like, well, physically this is all like, you know, Geto's body, so you know all those feats can be attributed to him instead of Kenjaku. Like,
oh no, bro. Oh no.
like, it's just the upscaling, man. Like, he refuses to let him be a bum, which I can respect. Because honestly, Geto gets so much extra hate that he don't. Well, you know, he do deserve it, but not for those reasons.
Yeah, Geto is cool, man. He's a cool character. I like Geto.
Not really the point though. Is like, he is strangely protective of certain characters.
What do you mean, bro?
Not Yuta for some reason, even though that's like his golden boy original MC.
Hey, man, I feel like he is. Him surviving that slash and he's gonna be brought back soon. I don't know. I feel like that's good protection.
Bro, where he be?
Listen, according to you, he's here next chapter, nigga. I don't know.
hope
You
so.
gotta believe in your old stocks.
Bro, that's what stupid people do.
Damn, you're right, bro. Hey, man. Listen, chat. He may have weak knees and not stand on anything, but I do. I do, okay? I will stand on my truth. Sailor, quick, prove Todo and Choso aren't the same person. Let's move on to the next comment. Kaneki saying low-key wanted Todo to come back with the electric triangle. Hey, man, that nigga's... Hey, Sukuna is cooked. If he has an electric triangle, Todo had to nerf himself. Rest of the story would just be over. You know what I'm saying? He came back with that fucking... If he came back with a thingamajig, too, oh my god, Sukuna's cooked. Holy shit, he couldn't do anything. Let me see. Kenjaku couldn't have done it. Ui teleported Gojo's body. Yeah, I think Kenjaku taking over Gojo's body is like the worst theory out of all of them. I was just saying it because it was a popular theory.
It's some fan fiction shit, man.
People really want the worst of the worst for these people.
I will say that theory brought about a seriously funny tweet for me where next chapter Yuji would see Gojo. He's like, oh, sensei. And then at the end, it was just like, sensei, you mean mother? And it just reveals the scar on his head. Oh my god. That shit had me cracking the fuck up, chat. I ain't gonna lie. That shit had me cracking the fuck up. Let me see. Crack theory, it's a cursed corpse using Gojo's soul information, but it's most likely Yuta. True. Hey man, Yuta is gonna come back with the 6 eyes. He's gonna take that shit like it's the Sharingan in Naruto, and then he's gonna be able to use Gojo's moves. Unironically, would go pretty fucking hard, I'm not gonna lie. Let me see. Looks like I was actually late. Yeah. we were so early. We actually started like an hour early. You just missed it. Yeah. No one tell him, chat. No one tell him. Let me see. Gege ending a chapter on a massive cliffhanger and trolling the fandom by not paying it off is a move as old as time. I'm still mad over the triple domain expansion clash. Hey man, listen.
Dude, man.
Sometimes we just gotta let it go, man. Sometimes, listen. I understand your frustration, but sometimes we just gotta let it go. Maybe it's just because I didn't care about the triple domain clash. I was very surprised to see so many people care so much about it. I guess it's just because we didn't get the chance to see Yuta's domain. But now that we saw it, I think that shit is just fine. Meet the Grams are not like us. Oh, that's hard. I think I'll have to go with not like us. Meet the Grams. Meet the Grams is such a brutal. It is such a haunting track. It's probably like in terms of like diss records, it's easily the best out of all of them. Just like how Kendrick attacked that nigga Drake, but
Meet the Grams is a better diss record, but I listened to it one time. Not like us, I've listened to it multiple times.
Bro, I don't want to listen to Meet the Grams again. YouTube Music recommended me that shit. I was like, how fucking dare you? Meet the Grams, like, it's like, that shit makes me feel like I lied when Kendrick is like, you lied about your accent, nigga. You lied about your child. I was like, maybe I did lie. I don't know. I don't know, Kendrick. I'm sorry. Bro, I'll be damned if I haven't been walking around my house going, certified lover boy, certified pedophile. That and sweet chin music and I won't pass the ox. That shit has been going crazy. My favorite track in the whole thing is Euphoria, though. I was listening to that a couple of times before we started, though. I love Euphoria. That song is lit. But anyway, let me read some more of these. It would be funny to see Kenjaku fumble the plan at the literal fucking finish line. Hey, man, that's just how it is. Weary Exile saying, Sailor binding vow on Gojo's part in exchange for his eye, while Shoko uses binding vow on her part, plus Urahime twerking and boosting her output seems legit, or soul plus cursed corpses and stuff. Hey man, that would be a way to get Gojo back, you know, just shaking ass and bringing him back. That'd be real. That'd be so fucking real, actually. That'd be JJK if it's good. If that doesn't happen, I'm pissed. Let me see.
Bro, we still got JJK abridged. I don't know, man. Bro, I be getting their clips like
Bro.
recommended in my like YouTube shorts every now and then.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
I didn't even know
Yeah,
there was an
yeah.
abridged. That's funny.
Yeah, well, yeah, it's alright.
In my ideal world, if JJK and its story was peak, Gojo would have died and stayed dead with the most amazing send-off he deserved for his character. Listen, man. You and me both. You and me both, man.
Bro, what a bunch of dick riders.
Here's
Whoa!
the thing: you're doing that, you are hoping for that, but you also live in a world with Gege Akutami, who in his ideal world, Gojo never existed. So it's
Hey.
just counteracting, you know.
Wait, actually, you know, that's actually a very valid excuse. There's no way he's bringing Gojo back. Like, he worked so damn hard just to get rid of him. And why would he bring him back? I didn't even think about that.
I don't know,
I,
because
honestly, I don't think he
To
really
kill him
worked that
again.
hard.
Yeah, right?
yeah, he actually didn't even draw it. If we're being real,
He didn't draw it, as well as the fact that most of the series he was fucking gone.
Yeah. So yeah, he can maybe if he uses Gojo, he'll use the hate to hate write the ending as quickly as possible so he can move on to his idol manga. Maybe.
Wait, he's gonna do an idol manga next?
Yeah, he wants to
wanted
do an idol manga. Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's so fucking based.
Yeah, you would say that. Sorry.
Yeah, I would
Damn.
say that. What the fuck is that supposed
yeah,
to
it's
mean?
literally
Listen.
what he
You
did.
know the fucking problem?
So
Listen,
obviously, I seem to upset you.
Akutami, if you
Yeah.
can save us from Oshinoko, I would greatly appreciate that, man.
Bro, I dropped
Yeah.
Oshinoko so fucking long ago.
Yeah, I think I'm done with Oshinoko
Damn.
myself.
I'm gonna keep reading it because, like, it's, you know, there's still good chapters. It's just every now and then the problems arise.
Well, for me
Yeah.
personally, because like I'm not.
I just
How do I
don't
say
care,
this?
honestly.
Yeah, I don't
I mean, I'm-
care because like the reason I dropped it was when all the incest stuff started, and
Yeah,
I'm
it's
not
still
a
uncomfortable.
fucking.
Yeah.
I'm not a fucking stickler. Like I don't like. I'm not like, oh, you shouldn't have incest in stories. Like I don't give a fuck.
But
You know, and I'm
It's
sure.
it's just uncomfortable.
Well, I'm sure he has like a reason for doing it. I'm sure it's all setting up to some, thematic fucking, payoff. But personally, I'm not really that interested in incest plot lines.
Yeah. Dude,
whoa,
this is
that's a
like-
hot take, Taco. What the hell?
So like
yeah. What the
when
fuck?
the
That's
story when that
crazy.
shit kind of just like kind of took over for a bit, I was like, I really like Oshinoko. I think I'm just gonna be done reading this.
I'm gonna remember it at its best. I see.
Yeah, I think.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm just
Go ahead, Silver. I'm sorry.
just waiting for season 2. I'm just waiting for season 2 here. It's supposed to drop in the summer, so I'm just sticking with that.
Nice.
I mean, the anime's
yeah.
pretty good.
I haven't checked it out. I do love Yaosobi's. I think that's how you say their band name. Their music is fucking fire.
They do some
and
good openings.
This is like
yeah.
going back to what you said. This is a very small tangent. I promise I'm not gonna go on forever.
Go ahead.
But this was a couple years ago. Me and Sky. This is back when, because me and Sky don't watch anime. Like we just straight up I don't think either of us have watched a full season in years. And this was a couple years ago. We both basically made like a pact. We were like, all
A
right,
binding
we are
vow.
going to watch. Like we are going to pick an anime this season, and we're gonna watch it. But me and Sky also we really like reading and watching dog shit, so we can complain about it. This is just fun. And that's the reason why we love like rom-com so much. And there's this
Whoa, not too
fucking
much.
anime that was coming out
Idly
called
Pride.
Idly Pride. It's a fucking idol anime, whatever. And me and Sky were like, oh, this looks like dog shit. Let's watch it, bro. Tell me why. The first couple weeks we were like, haha, this is so ass, bro. Like halfway through we were like, wait a minute. And then by the end, we were both like, wait, this is actually pretty fucking good. I'm like, oh.
Wait a minute, they're kind of cooking.
Bro, honestly, it was a pretty good show. I actually did like it. Well,
I'm
my
not.
favorite, you guys want to know who my favorite character was? My favorite character, because the it's just an idol group. There's like a bunch of them. My favorite character was this one girl who's a part of the idol group, and they treat her. She's literally like the grandma of the group. She's like so much fucking older than everyone else. They treat her like
Damn.
she's a decrepit old lady. She's like 23.
Oh.
She was like,
Oh,
dude, she's
shit.
23 years old, and they're like, she's the experienced senior. She's the one that like, it's like, bro, she's like fucking.
Damn, she just like me for real.
Oh, I don't know.
Bro,
She's a bit younger than
admittedly,
you.
What the hell?
I won't fault you for that because I've had a similar experience. For me and my friends were just like going through like just stupid anime, and we saw this one where it's like I forgot what the full title is, but we always just call it Science Fell in Love. We're like, man, this is the stupidest
yep.
shit ever.
I know what
Oh,
you're
I
talking about.
see.
Yeah, I know
We
that
watched
one.
the whole
I
thing
remember
within a
that.
day. We were like, wait, where the fuck is season 2?
They were kind of cooking. All right, let me finish looking through these, and then we can move forward. Let me see. Oh, okay, that's what you're saying. I agree, Big Z. That's true. Chat saying L-Mans. Thank you, chat. I appreciate it. The anime is gonna go insane with this chapter's Boogie Woogie action. Hey, man, I hope so. If Gojo comes back, I'm blaming Horikoshi. Don't forget the Bakugo fake out. Hey, man, listen. I don't know. I have nothing to say. Let me see. Kadaki with the donation saying Hakuri having his Namek Saga fight. True, dude. True. Let me see. I know who's at the end of the JJK chapter. It's Sailor in a Gojo wig. That's so real. That's so real. It's just me and I got a wig and some contacts, man. I'm about to put the beats on this nigga. I'm sick and tired of complaining about him. I'm dealing with it myself. And let me see. That's pretty much it. Let's move on to the next chapter on our roster here. My Hero Academia, chapter 423. One controversial chapter after the next. Fellas, how are we feeling about this one?
So I want to talk about this one a little bit.
I'm gonna quote you, Sailor. What happened to the game I used to love?
Good.
That's how I'm feeling.
This
Yeah,
is
it's
a
tough one.
a very controversial chapter, and I completely understand why, because it is. I mean, it's the end of the final fight. No matter what, I mean, that's gonna have detractors. That's gonna have. We are in the end game of the series, and that's just when things are always the most controversial, because not everyone's getting what they want and all that stuff, right? And I have some problems myself with this chapter. I think I like just about everything in the chapter itself. I think that there's a lot of stuff missing that, like, we should have gotten before the end. Specifically, the fact that I think my biggest issue is that this is the end of Shigaraki.
Yep.
And
Yeah, that's
I
definitely
don't
one for
think
me.
this is a bad ending for Shigaraki. I think if this was the final scene, okay, I'm happy with this being the final scene. You know, just a somber talk between him and Deku where they came to understand each other, and even though they weren't able to completely reconcile their differences, he wasn't able to completely save Shigaraki, they did understand each other in the end, and that understanding can be used to build a better future. That's, that's nice. I like that. But also, man, there's just, like, some stuff that, like, we should see. I'm annoyed, like, we didn't actually see his, like, last interaction with Nana, like, as if that's not, like, really important.
That's
And
insanely huge.
This is what fucks me up. After all this time, after the last war, Shigaraki, as far as we know, never found out Twice died.
Dude,
Yep.
yeah, that.
Shigaraki doesn't really care about the rest of the league. It feels like he's just like, yeah, tell
Spinner.
Tell
Well,
Spinner I
get that, 'cause
did a
that's,
good
like,
job.
That's his man's,
Of
that's
course,
his number
it's
one
a callback to arcs prior, but like, damn, no
I
thoughts.
get what you mean, though. I get what you mean, though.
Yeah, no thoughts about like anyone else, like Toga, Dabi, anybody. Just
Yeah, now see, that's definitely where I would go into it, because like, I feel like in a way this is like a perfect ending for All For One. Like, I'm glad we're done with him. Like,
I
the fact he
fucking
got
love
taken out.
All For One's conclusion. Yeah.
Yes, but the fact is, I just wish we got more or for Shigaraki.
Yeah, I
Just
agree.
like,
Yeah,
maybe we
wrapping
could've
up
just had it be,
Shigaraki's
like, where-
arc in 2 pages is a choice.
exactly. Like, I would have just like if it were me, I would have at least saved it for like next chapter. Like we see him starting to decay and dissolve away and all that, but it's like it doesn't end in like you said 2 pages. Like we get a little more, you know?
Yeah.
Shigaraki
Yeah.
should have had just a whole chapter just to him.
I think it also
Exactly.
would have benefited to see Deku's thoughts on just straight up killing this nigga, because I think for so much of the story you've had Deku's mentors telling him like, hey, you can kill Shigaraki, that's a way of saving people as well. And every single time Deku has that's been presented as a negative thing. Deku is just like, no, I don't want to do that. I want to save him. Even though Deku has acknowledged hey, maybe the only choice we have is fighting and killing each other. I want to help him. Every single time that this idea has been posed to him, Deku's like, no, I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that. So him having at least a little introspection about being like, I have no choice, I have to kill this dude, would have been nice, instead of him just saying, die, bitch, yeah, and then that's just the end. He does a fucking Shin Shoryuken to split the heavens and split away the clouds, and it's a happy moment. Because again, AFO dying is whatever, I don't give a shit about that nutsack.
Yeah,
But
that guy.
I mean, that's the thing,
Shigaraki
though,
is weird.
I think it's really weird, but for the opposite reason that you're saying, because he didn't kill Shigaraki. Yeah, that's Shigaraki's body, but Shigaraki was fucked. He killed All For One, and I think that presents a bigger issue, that the whole dilemma of him saving or killing Shigaraki, he never actually really made that meaningful choice.
No, I think
There's
that's
All For One.
another thing too, because Deku goes into the he goes into this arc and he's like, hey, I don't know what I'm gonna say when I get there with Shigaraki, but I'm gonna figure it out. I still want to help him out. So that to me was implying Deku was going to have an answer. He's going to have something to say. It's something impactful to say to Shigaraki, to at least talk about hey, this is how things can be done in the future, how to prevent something. And who knows, maybe we'll get that next chapter.
I do think
but
that's more likely. But
yeah,
I see where
but
you're coming from.
Deku hasn't really said anything, which is a weird thing, because it feels even though Deku is in the front and center, it feels like he's on the sideline at the same time, because Deku's whole thing of just saving Shigaraki, he just sent the vestiges to go do it off screen. And it's the
The off-screen part is what gets me. I don't mind the messages being a big part of it, because I don't know, that works for me, but off-screen, that part, I really don't like that.
I wish it would have been, Deku inspiring Shigaraki to be the one to do it instead of the vestiges, just because I like their connection more. But again, if you wanted to do it with the vestiges, especially when you have Nana Shimura there, and just how impactful that conversation between the two of them would be, I really do not like that. I don't like that being off-screened, and then again Shigaraki's conclusion being wrapped up in 2 pages, especially when this is the second time where Shigaraki or where a villain is well, you didn't really solve any of my problems, but it was nice to be noticed, I guess, and then they just die. It just feels very anticlimactic to these arcs. I wish that I don't know, there was some sort of hope for the future. And again, I'm not gonna go too crazy on it, because I do think there is hope for the next chapter to go more in depth about these things and what potentially Izuku has learned from his encounters with Shigaraki and things like that. But it feels so weird to have this fight, the build up to the fight be, all right, I'm going to figure out an answer to, give Shigaraki some peace of mind, and I'm going to save him. And then that just doesn't really happen. I mean, like, Shigaraki, he feels better, but again, Shigaraki just like, ah, man, I didn't really get to destroy anything. It's just, it just feels so unsatisfying. And
I
then,
think
oh, go ahead.
what
Go
went
through the
down.
chapter. It was like 5 chapters stapled together.
Yeah, yeah, like,
I can see that. Yeah, like a lot of things should have gotten more focus or expanded
Yeah.
upon. I definitely agree with that. I think because this chapter's like its core thing is about, you know, the final defeat of All for One. And like that's fine to have the chapter be about that. I think the All for One stuff is really good. But also, there's like other stuff that just needed to be expanded upon going on here. Like I agree with what you said, Doug, that this should have Shigaraki just should have gotten his whole chapter to himself.
yeah.
I think to have him die to All for One like that, essentially die, and then come back for like a couple pages is not a satisfying send off. I think Shigaraki as a character has been done more than well enough. I mean, like, I am very satisfied with the character work we got with him in his fight with Deku. I think that stuff was really good. But the fact that this is like this like tacked on technically resurrection type moment is like that's it. That's his ending. That doesn't quite sit right with me. And yeah, I don't know.
I don't know. It
I don't
feels
It feels like the priorities were a bit mixed up.
Of course, yeah. And I think I guess we can transition into a conversation about when the story can actually end, because I was going to talk about like the grander story, but we can save that for later. I've seen a lot of people saying that because I think last chapter was like the end of a regular volume, because that was 10 chapters. So people were saying like, oh, we could get a volume's worth of content for like an epilogue and things like that. And let me virtually put my hand on your shoulder, look you in the eye and say, I'm gonna keep it real with you, Chief. This shit could end in the next 1 or 2 chapters, because volumes, the final volumes for series always have more than the standard amount. Usually the standard amount is between like 7 to 10. If it's a monthly series, then it's usually like 4 chapters in a volume, because, you know, there's like double the chapters in there technically. So with this one, I would not be surprised if we went for like an 11, 12, maybe even a 13 chapter volume instead of the standard 10. I really don't think we have that much time left. MHA is on break. I would not be surprised if when that break is over, the week after this next one, we get an announcement saying MHA is ending next week, or it's ending in 2 chapters. I truly don't think there's all that much left. I don't think we're going to have all of that much introspective in terms of the post-war. I think we're going to get like an epilogue with an update on where characters are, how society has been changed for the better, and like that's about it. I think
It could even be like the final chapter of Naruto. Wasn't that one like a little longer? Wasn't it like...
Oh yeah, it was really long. It was like I want to say it was around like 50 or 60 pages.
So it could just be like a double chapter, basically. That's like the final chapter epilogue that just kind of wraps everything up.
For sure, yeah. I really don't think we have this much longer to go. So yeah, I just think it's over. I'm gonna be real.
Yeah, I'll be honest, like for this chapter, when I read it, I just didn't like, I don't know. I don't really feel strongly about it either way. Like, I don't feel particularly disappointed, but I don't feel like particularly happy about it either. It's just like whatever.
Yeah. It was very weird to me too, because I was thinking like, I think I'm kind of in that same boat as you, Taco, where I was just like, man, this doesn't really hit me, I feel like, as much as it's supposed to. And I tried to think like more in depth about it, And I was talking with Twice about it on Twitter, where you should follow me because whenever, my tweets decide to work on mobile, I talk about other stuff that I like. Or I just retweet a bunch of cool stuff. But I was thinking about it. I was like, why does this not really feel impactful to me? Like, I think a good example of a villain wrap-up was Dabi. I think Dabi was fucking awesome.
Dabi's still my favorite.
Yeah.
Out of all the villain
Dabi's was...
Dabi got a great wrap-up.
Yeah, Dabi's is
Toga
my
also.
favorite one. I think Toga, like... It's weird because I didn't really know... I still don't really know how to put my feelings on it into words because, like, I like Toga and I like Toga's wrap-up, but even that doesn't feel as impactful to me because I don't know, like, maybe it's just because I was hoping for, like, Ochako saying more to her about, like, how she could change things. Maybe it's just, Toga accepting that help and, we see where that goes. But it feels so strange because this really depends on what Horikoshi does for the future in these next upcoming chapters. Because to me, right now, it feels like Shigaraki and Toga have essentially served their narrative purpose for like 2+ years now, which is the fact that, like, okay, we're supposed to be kinder to villains. We're supposed to actually listen to them and we're supposed to help them instead of just beating the fuck out of them and then throwing them in jail cells, And I feel like since Ochako and Deku both learned that at the start of the arc, I feel like now that lesson has already been learned, Horikoshi's just like, who gives a shit? You can just kill him, regardless of the potential consequences that come with that. And I don't know how to feel about that.
I don't think that is the point. I don't think that is the point at all.
I don't think it's the point. I think it's... Well... Oh, go ahead.
Because, like, yeah, ideally, we would be able to, like, every bad person, we would be able to, like, take them aside and be like, hey, man, let's talk this out. Let's, like, fix everything. But, I mean, a big point demonstrated with Shigaraki and Toga, and even Dabi to some extent, I mean, they have such deep-seated issues, and at the end of the day, they probably weren't going to be able to change. And that's less like... That's presented as a huge tragedy. Like, a great misfortune. That, at the end of the day, it's not... You can't just set people aside. I mean, that's a big part of the story, is how deeply entrenched people's origins are, and how, like, it's the thing that drives people forward to their end, to their goals, to whatever they're trying to accomplish. And I don't know, maybe it's a very cynical thing the story is trying to say, but it does seem to be saying that, like, shit, sometimes it just sucks. Sometimes there's not much you can do. And I think a big part of that is accepting that and moving towards a better future anyway, taking what you can from these experiences and forging that better future. Now, I will say, if it doesn't address this in, like, the epilogue, then that's fumbling. But also, like, again, I don't think you can integrate Toga. Like she doesn't have a moment where she's like, yeah, you're right, I'm gonna stop killing people. Like,
I think you can. I think, because the whole point was that Toga never really had anyone to talk to about her quirk. I think Toga is one of the few villains that you could help her out, and, like, sure, obviously she'd have to go to jail for, like, killing people, but I think you could, with, like, the proper quirk counseling, you could set her up.
That's okay. That's incredibly fair. Toga's not the best example. I think it's incredibly difficult. I mean, yeah, we can say, like, she just wanted someone to talk to, but also she's been killing people for a long time. That's a hard thing to shake. I imagine. I said that like I'm speaking from experience.
Yeah, this nigga caught 30 bodies before we started the podcast, man. I can't believe
Right?
this
Yeah.
shit.
On the way here, actually.
Yeah. I think it is
so-
like a nuanced thing to say that you
It's
can't
a really
help-
hard thing to talk about.
Yeah, I think it's a nuanced thing, and I can respect it to have the story. Like, you should at least try to talk things out with people. I think that's something that, like, for example, Talk No Jutsu gets shit on a lot in the anime community, and, like, I don't think it's bad at all. Like,
Oh, it's some of the best moments in Naruto.
yeah, because
Like-
I think, like, showing people to, like, try and talk through your issues instead of just, like, constantly being wrapped up in bullshit fighting, I think that's a very healthy thing to do. Now, obviously, we can debate on the execution of it and if it's, like, well done. I know, for example, like, it's not my favorite series, but I enjoy it more than most. Like, Fairy Tail has some moments like that where it's like, all right, well, this wasn't really all that great. But I think as a concept, things like talking things out with people and trying to help them out, I think that's good. And sometimes things just don't work out. And I can appreciate that nuance, but damn, like, not one villain, you know, like I would like
get what you
one
mean.
villain.
I think that's completely fair. I mean, hey, man, Spinner's probably alive.
I don't know, man. That nigga had a bunch of quirks thrown into him. That nigga might explode.
That's true.
That nigga might just
Homo for the
combust.
rest of his life.
I think a lot of it is, I think when writing these villains' endings, Horikoshi was a lot more focused on, like, what the best character conclusion would be for them instead of, like, the broader societal implications of those endings. Because, like, for example, with Toga, it's like, yeah, we can go into a lot of, like, well, what is this saying? But about, like, you know, what we should do about people like this. But I think what Horikoshi was thinking at the end of the day was just that very small personal conversation.
I
between
actually
Toga and
agree with
Otako.
you on that. Yes, I very
And
much
that-
agree with you on that.
I mean, that can really make, like, a sort of split between, like, what's being said and what's being done. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because again, going back to Dabi, I think he's a great example of, like, micro and macro storytelling, where, like, the macro is obviously, like, heroes trying to save a villain, but the micro is all caught up in the Todoroki plotline and, like, this bringing the family together literally and figuratively. So how is the family going to react? Will they come together, or will they peacefully go their separate ways after this? Like, even if Toya is dead, which, you know, that nigga is cooked, literally.
Oh,
So
he's
I think
dead,
he is.
literally.
I think he's dead. But, like, even with Toya being gone, there's still that impact that is being felt from this conclusion. I think, and this is why I was saying that I like a lot hinges on these next couple of chapters. I don't really feel the impact of Toga and Shigaraki's deaths on that grander scale. Like, on a personal level, I feel that. I still think Toga and Ochako's conclusion was good. I think that was, I'm gonna be honest, that was the best fight in the series, or not the series, but in the arc, which is weird because I was so looking forward to Deku and Shigaraki. But yeah, that was the best fight in the arc for me. So I think that's good. I wish Shigaraki obviously would have got more. I'm disappointed with that. But I did like the stuff that we got beforehand with Deku and Shiggy fighting and then ending up in the Vestige world and stuff like that. I thought that was really good. But in terms of that grander scale, I don't really feel that yet. And I don't know if it's coming or not. Obviously, that, like we said, that depends on the next couple of chapters. But it could just be a situation where they were only really set up for that, like, I guess, micro level payoff with the interactions with the characters, and then it's like, all right, they're done. But of course, it's all about what happens next chapter or the one after that one.
Yeah. And, like, again, the whole idea, I think one thing, and you can see this as, like, a positive of the series or, like, a negative of the series, I think that's really up to interpretation, is the concept of saving in the series is, like, purposefully vague. Like, there's even that moment where Gran Torino is like, you know, death can also be a form of saving, you know, or something like that. And it's like, that immediately introduced the idea that, like, it can be anything at the end of the day.
I think that nigga was just wrong, personally. I was like, damn, that's crazy. Hey, sometimes you just gotta pop out and show niggas for real, Izuku. Sometimes you just gotta beat niggas' ass to save them.
Just like, with Toga, for example, I think that's a really good example of that, is technically, well, not technically, pretty literally, Ochako did not save her. Like, she is probably not alive. And
yeah, which is
probably not doing so well.
Unfortunate for Ochako.
But also, you could look at it, well, the whole thing is Toga did not have a healthy concept of, you know, interpersonal relationships and love and, like, these emotions she was having. But in the end, someone who always took blood from people as a form of expressing her affection ended her arc by giving blood to express affection. And in a way, you could see that as, like, saving her, you know, giving her a much healthier concept of love. And that was her problem. And yeah, that killed her. She didn't physically save her, but maybe in a more personal sense. And I think that is, like, the point. Like, I'm not trying to, like, make excuses like, well, technically, because no, they didn't physically save them.
I don't think they
all.
mentally did either.
Well, yeah, she probably wasn't, like, well-adjusted at the end, but she was definitely, like, a better person, I'd say.
I mean, yeah, she was like, you definitely made me feel better. You made my feelings, like, temporarily go away, but they're, like, you didn't get rid of any of the hatred and stuff that I have inside of me. Like, it's still there. So that's why it's like, oh, I don't even know if she, like, really saved her mentally. I think she definitely, like, did some good. I'm not denying that. I think Toga definitely felt, or she, like, the emotional impact was there for Toga to do what she did, obviously giving up her blood like you mentioned, but, like, in terms of saving her mentally, I don't know. I wish we would have got more with that, man. I really hope Toga's alive.
We'll see.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, again, it is just the macro and the micro. Like, literally one of the best moments in this whole arc is, like, in the Todoroki fight, when it's just Toya like, oh, they're all looking at me. If it was really that simple, why didn't it happen sooner?
Yeah, what
like,
took so long, yeah.
Wow, that's so good. And it's like, yeah, he never gets saved, but he does get some kind of closure. And I guess that is more what this is about, is, like, people just really coming to terms with themselves. Because a lot of the larger societal issues, I think it is more gonna take the approach of it, like, just, shit's gonna take time and work and effort, and things aren't gonna get fixed overnight. Because at the end of the day, I mean, I see some comments going on in our, you know,
in the
live stream comments here and all that stuff, and it's like, yeah, I agree. I also don't believe society would probably be able to accept someone like Toga. It's unfortunate.
I guess the way
It's
I
tragic
feel about
even.
it is, like, because I agree with that. 'Cause a lot of these ideas he's dealing with are very large societal issues. They're not simple, like the racism subplot and this mental illness. Like,
you
know,
just took me
Toga,
back to
like,
Nam. Don't say that shit, bro.
Well, I have a point. I feel like these are really big, grand ideas he's addressing, and he's addressing them by saying, guys, these are not easy issues. Like, these are not things you can solve in a fight. These are not things you can just solve by, you know, saving one person. But I think the steps you take to work towards those ideals, that first big step where you're like, this is what I'm going to change, this is what I'm going to do different, I just wish he executed those with a little more, like, impact.
I can
feel that.
Because I don't think, because, like, with the racism subplot with Toga, with Shigaraki, it's like, this stuff can't be fixed right now, but that means we just need to work for the future. But none of the moments that happened made me think like, oh man, these guys are going to figure it out.
Yeah, I agree.
I was gonna say with that.
It got pushed aside
obviously,
yeah.
Obviously, things are changed. Things are different. Deku changed people. Deku brought all these people together. Like, I'm not saying Deku didn't do anything, but like for me personally, Deku's impact doesn't come close to like for like the main character and for like what I was expecting of him. This final confrontation with his ultimate test feels like lackluster.
Yeah, I was gonna talk about this before. I think MHA does a very good job at addressing parts of society that need fixing. Like, I think Toga's whole thing about like society just failing her, like instead of trying to actually help her, they were just trying to force a square into a round hole, and then they were like, fuck it, that doesn't work, and just tossed her to the wayside. I thought that was good. Obviously the stuff with the Todoroki family was really good. I think when MHA like tries to attack these subjects, I think they do a good job, which also makes it weird when MHA goes, yeah, well, they're not really like that bad though. And like, I don't think it's intentional, but having the message of the racism subplot be just ignore the problem until it eventually goes away is like, I don't know if that's much of a criticism. Then you have Shigaraki being manipulated by AFO, where it's like, of course, society, like someone could have helped him out on the street, but like, how much is it really society's fault when Quirk Satan was manipulating every aspect of this boy's life down to like a T? Like, it's really weird. I think MHA does both a good job and a not so good job at like talking about these issues. And I think it sets up a lot of interest as to what Horikoshi is going to say in this final couple of chapters. I think that's really going to matter a lot and like either wrap things up nicely or not so much.
I think where this is going, and I think that this is why the defeat of All For One was so important to the story. Because All For One is just the greatest evil of MHA in the way that it's hard to put it exactly, but All For One is kind of a victim. You know, he was literally born to nothing and basically took on an opportunity of taking everything, making himself the great person who just has everything, controls everything, is everything. And in that way, he is a victim of just how his society is and how it sort of, you know, became the quirk society that it is now. And as it developed, he eventually became the great evil of the world, not because he is this tragic victim, not because he carries his origin with him to drive him towards his great goal, but because he is the great opportunist. Someone who looks at and sees all these societal issues and decides, well, I had a tough time of it in my childhood. That was kind of shitty. I'm gonna help people out. Literally, his quirk is described by Yoichi as like the kindest quirk. Unfortunately, it's in his hands. And he just uses his power to manipulate people, take people down on their luck, and use them for his purposes. We get like a little bit of that in the Overhaul arc, where it's like that's like a microcosm of what we later see with All For One, using his power to manipulate people and like make tools out of them. We see that a little bit with Chisaki being that sort of like pseudo savior, taking people down on their luck and using them for himself. And now that this great evil has been defeated, this person that utilizes social issues to his benefit instead of doing anything to solve them, I think what it's trying to say is like, well, now that someone like this is out of the way, we can make real progress. Because people like All For One just exist. People who use people that are down in their luck. People who treat people like commodities, like tools for their efforts. And I think that's kind of the point. is that you have people that are victims. You have people that are doing terrible things because of the society they've been born into and how it mistreated them and marginalized them. But you also have the people who don't really... You have the people that use that to their benefit. Despite being in positions of power, don't use that power in the way that's right and will instead just continue to propagate these social issues instead. And I think the whole point of MHA, at least in this larger macro scale, is that you can't make real progress until you do something about those people. Now, make of that what you will.
Yeah, let's go. We just need to take down Satan and save racism. Let's go, baby.
Yeah, you when people are really bad, you gotta kill them, and then all the people who are kind of bad, we can help.
You are so fucking truing. You are so fucking truing.
Greater nuance.
It is an oversimplification, definitely. But that is basically what you said.
Hey, man.
I do think it's just trying to make a distinction between villains like people like Shigaraki and people like All for One. Mm-hmm. That is I think that is a big point for just the macro scale of the story about the difference between those who are just victims and taking their issues out at the world and those who are perfectly aware of issues within the world and just want to use them to benefit themselves.
Yeah.
And that is a meaningful distinction, especially as far as the story goes.
I definitely see where you're coming from. I just don't think it's my sort of thing because I really liked these societal issues and while they still obviously exist, I think just being oh, well, AFO was the cause for a lot of them, and now that he's gone, we can heal. I think it sort of even slightly lightens the load on society. I wish all of these things were just society's fault because people are shitty. People are awful human beings. I think it would be something to, I think Villain Hunt did this a really good job, or did a really good job of doing this when the people at UA were just we are not letting that dusty, musty ass nigga named Deku come in here. Fuck that. Because we are going to get targeted and we don't want to die. The fact that they were thinking like villains would, in a sense, just leaving a child out to die, sort of similar to what happened with Shigaraki, how he went around asking or trying to look for others for help, and they were like, ooh, no way, Jose. Just because of Hero Society creating that sense of apathy within people, just being like, oh, well, other heroes will figure it out, and if they don't, then I'm pissed off, not because, people are actually affected, but because you fucked with me and my bottom line, right? I would prefer, I like that, and I like when MHA touches on that, and I don't know, I feel like it just kind of slightly lessens the blame on people when it's like, okay, well, we can finally move past this stuff now that the manipulator of all of our bullshit is gone. I don't know. I don't know if that's the best way to put it. Maybe it's just because I don't like this ugly fuck, but I don't know. It kind of takes away some of that, some of the blame that people bear in this situation.
I disagree with that. I mean, like I said,
well, you're a bitch. No, I'm kidding.
He's just an opportunist. All of these issues are still there.
Of course, yeah. I'm not trying to say they're not there.
For example, I think Shigaraki's backstory is a really good example of this, where yes, he was given the decay quirk, and that fucked him over. He was, he did kill his family and all that stuff. But everything that happened to him, All For One didn't go out on the street and be like, hey, you see that bum kid? You should just let him figure it out himself.
Of course, yeah, but then we have to look at everything else that All For One did. Like I was saying, society definitely has issues. These issues still exist, but what is it, 5% society's fault for not trying to help him out, and then the other 95% go to the man that literally dictated his life before he was even conceived.
I guess I'm a little surprised because I agree with Zenith's interpretation.
Mm-hmm.
I agree with where he's coming from, but the reason I don't know. To me, it feels.
I mean, I
like,
definitely think some things are messy, but yeah, go on. Sorry.
Well, I feel like to me, it feels like such a more cynical outlook on life and society than I was expecting from MHA.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah.
Like I thought
Yeah.
that the
if
series
anything-
was going to be a bit more. I don't know.
Hopeful.
I thought we were going to go
Hopeful,
more towards
yeah.
like you know, I don't know what I was expecting, but I wasn't expecting it to be like society sucks.
Sometimes shit's just
people are
fucked.
really bad.
Yeah.
and you just can't do anything to help them.
It's
But
also
we can try
I
to help
mean-
other people. It's like I don't know.
yeah. It's really.
I mean,
Oh, go ahead, Silver.
well, no, I'm just saying, like that kind of cynical ending is something I would come up with, which isn't really a
Oh,
good
it's
thing.
fucking.
but-
I mean, that's
It's
kind of
like-
how
it's
the
very
story starts
close
off
to-
too.
It's very close to real life because I do think that, and I don't want to get super personal, but I do think that's just how real life is. Sometimes there are people who are just bad people.
Of
I
course.
think we can all acknowledge that.
Yeah.
But it's like, I don't know. It's not really what I was looking for, I guess, in
Yeah.
this story.
Mhm.
It can
fair.
also
I-
be like weird because things that are like super optimistic, like things like wishing energy that was introduced like in the final arc, that's a hero exclusive. If you're a villain, fuck off, buddy.
I think Night Eye was just capping on that one. If I'm being
No, it was confirmed to be like an actual thing in this arc. That's why I was saying like, oh, that's weird. Because it was like, oh, like all of the wish, like all of
Yeah.
the energy sent Bakugo, and it was able to get him there in time to save All Might. So that's what it's like. Oh, that's
I
kind of
don't
crazy.
know what he was cooking with wishing energy.
And
Yeah,
I
it's
don't want to.
I wonder if it's like a thing because again, I think it's always like it. Mostly, it's usually like, you know, in bad faith. If you're like, oh, thing I don't like, editor. Probably. I do wonder if there's like some pull between like it being a darker series or not. Because it is undeniable that Horikoshi has moments where the series is just darker than it was. I mean, all of MVA is just, you know, a step in that direction.
So
And I
goated.
wonder if there's any like push and pull between that.
Yes.
Oh, you're a man on the
Jujutsu,
inside,
yes,
Jigga. Yeah.
Like, I wonder if, you know, he's ever told he needs to tone it down, and that's where things like wishing energy come from. Obviously,
Yeah.
he comes up with those concepts, you know. That's not to take any blame off of him. But
Of course.
I do wonder how much he's encouraged to make things. I mean, the same way that the anime never gets a much darker tone compared to the darker parts of the manga.
Blue Sky
know.
Boys, let's go.
think
That
I don't-
stuff is interesting. Again, at the end of the day, it doesn't change how I think about the series. The series is as it is and should be criticized as such.
For sure.
Um,
I think that he does have some input from editors, but I'll talk after Taco. Taco, it sounded like you were saying something.
Yeah, sorry.
I think I don't want to compare MHA to other series, at least not right now, because in my head I'm kind of thinking about it. But like, I don't really. I'm just trying to look at it as MHA,
itself.
as itself, not being compared to anything else, not being compared to other shonen, being compared to contemporaries, just as a story. And this isn't even a criticism of the story. This is just an
Damn, nigga.
observation of me as a reader. This story, when I first started reading it, years ago, this story has, to me, changed into something that I no longer really connect with the same way that I once did.
I
I
feel
don't feel like, to me personally, I don't feel like this story is the same story that it was when I started.
Hmm.
Yeah.
I can agree with that.
Yeah.
And
That's fair.
I think
I
Act
think-
3
Yeah.
changed a lot.
I think it's fine if other people disagree with that. They think it is the same story, or they just prefer this new direction it's taken. But for me, this direction isn't exactly just the way I saw it playing out.
Yeah, that nigga Deku is a reaction channel in Act 3, bro. I'm sick, man. Look at what they did to my boy. God
Right, I did
damn.
not like that comparison because you were right.
Look at what they
Yeah.
did to my goats, bro. Holy fuck. Yeah, I definitely, going back to the whole editor thing, I definitely do think that there is some push and pull, because like for example, another one of my goats, Lady Nagant, she was supposed to have like an entire volume of backstory.
Oh yeah.
And they were just like,
Mhm.
fuck no, nigga, wrap this shit up now. Let's skip past that. Fucking, what was it called? What was it? The fucking force training arc, that was supposed to be longer. And they were like, no, nigga, come on, we gotta wrap this
And
shit
the
up.
armor,
No.
from what I
yeah, yeah.
Or
So-
the fact
he
that
was
like
he was gonna
NBA
go
was
more
supposed to happen
in.
earlier.
He was gonna go more in on the villains in the forest camp,
Which
arc.
would have been
Yeah.
peak. Oh my god! I hope he drops like his notes one day of what he had
Oh, yeah.
planned. That'd be so cool.
And
But
I want
yeah,
to
I think there
further
is some actually.
clarify when I say what I said. What I mean is that it's not a criticism of the quality of the story, because I personally believe that there are chapters within Act 3 that are extremely good.
Mhm.
Like literally some of the best chapters in the series, I think,
Yeah.
are in Act. It's more of a tonal thing. It's more of a thematic, like tonal thing, where it's like what the series is saying to me feels different from what it was saying before, rather than like Horikoshi. I don't think his writing quality has declined or his art quality has declined. Like him as a writer, I think he's still, phenomenal. It's just, to me,
I
the
think just-
series,
yeah,
it hits different.
How the story is being told, essentially.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I think ultimately what it was going for. I think at its core, and I get exactly what you're saying, Taco, and I think you are both right and wrong about the series change.
Fuck.
Mm-hmm.
Because at its core, what the story was about was Deku learning to become a hero and learning to persevere. It's what that means to put your life on the line, what that means to do what is right, what that means to persevere when times are hard. I mean, that's the whole point of his name being recontextualized as something against him to mean something that pushes him forward, that he can do it. And where this goes is it starts out as a much lighter series, and I think that's purposeful, but it does become darker. And it doesn't just become darker. You're absolutely right that it has become a lot more cynical.
Mm-hmm.
And in that way, the series has changed. What the series is presenting us about whatever Horikoshi's maybe societal beliefs are, definitely a lot more cynical than originally presented.
Mm.
But I think the core of the series is absolutely the same. Because I think we're put sort of in the place of Deku, where we are just as ignorant as him in the start of the series, and then repeatedly confronted with this more realistic, more cynical world as Horikoshi sees it. And the point is to persevere onward anyway.
This nigga thinks he's Aaron Yeager.
I mean,
I think
the
I
that
series
think
has been
that's
cynical
I
from
agree
the
with
start.
I think
guess
that's
I
the
just
point.
wish. I agree. I think that I agree with you. I think I guess I would have enjoyed it a little more if, since we're being put in the shoes of Deku, experiencing the world through his eyes. I wish we just got a little more time to like
Think with
know
Deku.
how he really feels.
I agree.
Yeah.
No, I think there's a lot to be said about how that's executed, for sure.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I think the point is. And I think in a way, I think that is just actually really cool, if I'm right about that. Like, I think as a story concept, that's really interesting. I do wish we got more in Deku's head, though. I agree with that.
Yeah, I think we could have got a lot more introspection on stuff like his opinions on things in Villain Hunt, and like I was saying beforehand with him in his battle with Shigaraki. I feel like that could have helped. But overall, it is what it is at this point. Like,
I mean, yeah, it's over. Like,
Yeah,
I think we only got like a
that's
chapter or
kind of
two left.
that's
I think
kind of how I'm feeling about it. It is
it's
what it
done.
is at this point. Yeah, it was.
I-
MHA had his ups and downs, but it is what it is.
I want to say one last thing, actually, about the series. And this isn't even about the series. It's about Naruto.
Let's go,
Oh,
peak.
There is, and obviously there's a lot of interviews that go around. I heard about this one interview where it was basically Kishimoto talking about the Pain arc.
Peak.
And basically he struggled to like know how to end it, which that struggle to know how to end it is what spawns the ending that we have now for that arc, which basically completely redirected the series into its core themes, what they ended up being. And yet they don't really actually represent his worldviews as a writer, and that it was more optimistic than he actually was. And I say this because I wonder if that's what it's like writing a shonen manga. Because I mean, look, there are just straight up children's book authors, and those are like adults. You know, they've got probably a lot more darker thoughts than what they're putting in books made for 5-year-olds, you know?
Whoa, not too much. 13-year-olds.
Hey, I wasn't talking about Shonen Jump Down, but you know.
But yeah, it's the same basic idea. These are stories written for young men.
They are written
teenagers.
for younger people.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I think there's always going to be that push and pull between like the expectations of a shonen manga and who someone actually is as a writer, as an adult that's experiencing the world. I think a part of that is why Chainsaw Man was so refreshing. I mean, it's just instantly like cynical about the world. And it's weird to call that refreshing, but like it kind of is, you know, like
a series that's so openly honest.
It is so real about just work. Like, the fact that Denji did all that stuff early on with the Bat Devil, and then he has to do fucking paperwork.
Hey, man. This is what it is, you know? As someone who is incredibly young myself, I think I know exactly what you're talking about. I can relate, you know?
The difference between the genre... What the author...
Oh.
What the hell just happened?
Did bro just cut out?
The universe cannot allow him to speak anymore.
Fuck.
Zenith.
Zen-chan.
Bro is cooked.
That nigga may have just got sent to the Shadow Realm, boys.
Bro, Shueisha heard him talking shit. They pulled his
yeah,
fucking
they
internet,
fucking got my ass
Oh,
for a second.
shit.
I'm
All
back.
right, thank God. All right.
Yeah, no, they
Can't
got
keep
me,
you down.
man.
Good to know.
They got me. They heard me talking some shit. But yeah, I don't know. It's just all stuff worth considering. I guess being near the end of the series, I don't know, it gets me thinking just about the process, writing a story, where it brings you, what you're thinking as a writer.
True.
And I'm
And
sure
true.
it doesn't help that, you know, we know Horikoshi hasn't been feeling like physically well.
Oh, yeah.
In
that's
recent
another reason
times.
why I think
He's
he
dealt
wants
with
to
lots
wrap
of
this shit up.
illnesses.
Yeah.
And it's one of those things where dealing with the expectations of millions of fans, dealing with physical health, dealing with your bosses, a lot of that stuff can be really overwhelming. And I'm sure it affects you, like, mentally as well. Like, it has to. So it's like, it's pointless to speculate because we don't know for sure. But I personally feel like it definitely plays a role.
For sure. For sure.
Right.
But yeah. We'll
Wait,
just have to wait until
actually-
next chapter.
I'm going to have to dip out early. But
Oh, okay.
real quick. So, Chainsaw Man, I don't remember what happened in the chapter.
Mid.
Kagurabachi, really fucking good.
So
Love
peak.
Kagurabachi this week.
So
Cool.
peak. Yeah.
I like what it's doing with Hakuri. I really like, because I feel like Hakuri could have been easy to like be annoying.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
He could have easily become annoying, but I really like what they're doing with him, what the direction he's going with him. I think it's really good. I'm excited to see what the fuck is about to happen with this jellyfish dude. Really good stuff. I'm gonna have to head out. I'm glad thank you to everyone for watching the pod, and I hope you guys enjoy the rest.
Take care,
All right.
handsome.
See ya.
Bye-bye. All right. So with that all being said, are you guys ready to transition to our next chapter?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's do
All
it.
right.
Everyone else seems ready for it. too.
Yeah. Listen, man, chat. You see, that's how you can have a conversation about a story and not be a dickhead about it. You know, we may have our disagreements, but we can still talk about it, man. That's what's really important. You don't have to book check niggas for no reason. But anyway, let
Also,
the people know.
hold on.
No,
We never
please.
talk about MHA that long. All right, like, come on now.
Listen, man. Listen. It was a long conversation, but let's transition into Chainsaw Man. Let them know how you guys feel. I really got to pee, so I'll be back.
Oh. Okay.
Um,
I guess we're in charge now.
Yes,
So, everybody, Chainsaw Man, chapter 165. They're on a train. They talk about life. And then Katana Man decides to get Denji laid.
Yeah, I really can't just figure out whether this guy's supposed to be an op or not at this point.
I think Okay, imagine this though. Like the dude you hate and you're beefing with for like a long ass time. I mean, it's got to be like it's more than months at this point. I think it's over a year at this point. And like has fucked you up badly. And then you just find out he's the most pathetic dude in the world. Like
the dude who changed the trajectory of my life is nothing but a fucking loser.
And I don't know, I imagine, like, he didn't say shit when he saw his house burn down, but I imagine he's like, damn, fuck, man, that sucks.
Alright, I'm back. Golly.
Just to catch you up, imagine that the person you hate most in the world and you find out he's just a loser. Like, that's what Katana Man's going through right now.
Spay, man, we want to talk about losers. God damn, Asa, you suck, dude. Jesus Christ. What a fucking loser this woman is. Man, I mean, I'm happy we're going back to this whole savior complex with Asa, because this was mentioned beforehand with, I believe it was Yoru, who was just like, man, you don't even feel bad that you killed our goat Bucky. You were just upset that you got caught doing it. And I think the whole thing with Asa being like, well, Fami's got her like head in the right place, right? And Fami's like, and Asa just goes,
That's where I'm supposed to say yes.
Yeah, Asa's like, well, anyway, I'm gonna save you and, give you your old life back. And Denji's like, I used to eat like toilet paper before, like that was my old life. I'm gonna save you. It's gonna be okay. Like, damn, dude. Like, first you can't even take bro out to sushi at first. Now you're just not even willing to listen to him. She is such a fucking loser, dude.
She does not have like a stick up her. She has like the whole fucking tree because
Yeah.
she goes through that whole like emotional thing, and the dude's just like smoking next to her and everything. She's like, hey, like I was just trying to be helpful, and no smoking on the train. Oh my fucking god! It's like, shut up.
Shut the fuck up. Like her Denji being like, hey, are you still brainwashed by those terrorists? She's like, I was not a terrorist. My sister in Christ, yes you were. I was not a terrorist, bro. That was not
Terrorist
me.
is such a harsh word.
Yeah, right. Like that's
What would
such
you call it then?
I'll get back to you on that.
I was a fighter of love. I am trying to do the right
freedom fighter.
thing. Yeah. Right, Fami? We're doing the right thing? Please say yes.
This is where you say yes.
Please say
Look at your
yes.
hand.
Yeah. Please. Yeah, Asa is a fucking loser for real. Yeah, it was really nice seeing this sort of side of her again after so long. It was nice getting that introspection from her and Denji. But yeah, this chapter, I don't know. I feel like Chainsaw Man has been following a very weird formula where it's like setup. Okay, we answered a little bit of the questions the next week. Setup. Okay, we answered a few questions again. Setup. Okay, we answered, like, just so on and so forth. It feels strange because things have definitely been happening. Like, stuff has been going on in Chainsaw Man. I think the character writing is still good. I think the plot is going in a good place. It's just, it is so slow. Oh my God. Like, it doesn't help the release schedule either, which, like, I won't be too mad at that because obviously I want Fujimoto to, like, live. But it just feels so slow. And usually I don't think that's a bad thing. I think the start of the series handled it very well, but it feels like the story is as intent as possible to, like, have something happen, but also have nothing happen at the same time. Like, when we were breaking in to go get Denji and we got, like, the same chapter, it felt like 3 weeks in a row. It was like, all right, things are happening, but man, this is slow. And then Denji gets up and it's like, all right, well, we're going to tell him about the stuff. Oh, no, that's going to happen next chapter. Okay. Then we tell him about the stuff. And it's like, no, we're gonna go to a brothel now, and it's like, what the fuck? Okay, like it's such a weird position to be in, because like I said, I don't think the writing is trash. It's just very slow pacing wise. Also, shout out to I Hate Zenith donating $5. This chapter further cements my belief that women should never be the protagonist of anything. Right, Zenith? Zenith, what are your thoughts?
Read Undead Unluck. It's fucking peak.
Bro, I was gonna say just fucking Claymore. That'll just shut down.
True.
Yeah, but I've never read it, so you know.
Bro is gassing up mid. Oh my God! Talk about
you
a real
ain't even
series.
reading it.
You're damn right, cause it sucks. Nah, I'm kidding.
And I'm not gonna.
I'm gonna get back on Undead Unluck. That shit is good.
Fuck yeah.
But yeah,
Stop
man.
in the middle of good shit. But yeah, no, gee, I hate Zenith. I wonder if your opinion is something I'll agree with.
Bro, he's just, he's wondering,
really setting it up. $4.99 to be a hater. That's crazy.
This could be something that binds you two together, though, Like, what if he changes his name to I Love Zenith after this? What if he's just looking for affirmation from you on how you feel on the topic at hand, which is hating women?
Huh.
All
so
right.
Are they actually gonna go to a brothel or whatever?
I think they will, and I think next chapter will just be like a bunch of hee ha ha's before we set up for next week, because that just seems that we are in setup hell. This is the Eternity Devil, ladies and gentlemen. We are in set up hell, dog.
That'd be some crazy meta shit.
Kobeni will be at the brothel. No, not Kobeni, bro.
No.
Fuck, they did mention like, they were gonna sell her off if she
hate
didn't become a
that.
devil hunter. Oh no, if Kobeni's there, that sucks.
People have been saying that. I don't think she's gonna be there.
The big booty devil is real. No,
I don't think she's gonna be there because, like, that was the whole thing. Is like when the whole Makima stuff happened, she was basically like, "So does that mean I'll never get to see my family again?" And Kishibe's like, "Yeah." Oh, thank God. So I think she's just off doing her own thing, because now she doesn't have to, like, she's not beholden to her family anymore, and her family was making her do jobs she didn't like to put her, I think it was her brother, through college.
I think so, yeah.
Well, she had multiple brothers, if anything.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so, I think she's just out. Here's the thing. If she's not in the story, she's better for it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
On her
What
I
a
have no
double-edged
enemies
sword my life is living in. Kobeni's not in the story, which means she's living a better life. But at the same time, she's not in the story, which means I don't get to have fun.
But what about my life, Kobeni?
What about what I want?
Yeah, being selfish. What the fuck, man? I can't believe this shit. Man, if Kobeni really is there, I am sad. That is like worst timeline shit, man. I am sad.
We already know Okobeni doesn't exactly have the best luck in the series to begin with, so it's like, is it really out of the question?
Yeah, man.
You know what'll happen? I bet we'll get one of those chapters again, like it was with the Gun Devil, and like, where it just lists all like the names of the dead. I bet one day we'll get a chapter like that with some other devil, and just Kobeni's name will be there.
No!
That'd be work.
No!
That would be some nasty work by Fujimoto.
That would be so ridiculous, bro.
Just off screen like that? Oh god.
The off-screen hockey is real, chat. It's real. Holy shit. Hey, man.
Yeah, in all seriousness, I think she's out. I think the moment we got Bro Benny in, like...
Yeah, we got the replacement.
He had the new sufferer. The new one to bear the cross of Fujimoto's
Please take
sins.
all my suffering from Kobeni to Bro Benny.
We got the suffering next generation, bro. Hey, that's that real
And
shit.
there's Asa here, like, they're kind of like, splitting up.
By the way, Jigga, that video you sent a while back of Asa, like, replying to that text message, some of the funniest shit I've ever seen.
Oh, I love that.
That video is so funny. Like, she's just struggling to what to say. God, she is such a loser, dude. Oh my god. But hey, good chapter. I just don't have too much to say about it.
Yeah, same.
Hopefully that changes next week. I don't think we're on break, are we? Or are we? I don't know. I haven't checked. I shan't cap. But regardless of when Chainsaw Man comes back, I'm excited to see what happens.
Okay.
But are you guys ready to move on to our final chapter of the week?
Yeah, Kagurabachi.
Peak Bachi.
Yes, sir. Kagurabachi Chapter 33. How are we feeling about this one?
This shit was
Oh my
fucking
god,
cool.
it's so cool.
God damn, bro. Oh my
I know
lord.
I'm skipping ahead a bit, but like, man, which page is it? It's page 9 to 10 is some of the coldest shit I've ever seen in a manga.
That shit is
Where,
so
like,
wrong.
The lighter just burns away the
Dude,
memory.
He's
It's
smoking
so
on top
good.
fives, bro.
Good.
Holy shit. Oh my god. Bro, my jaw dropped when I saw that. I was like, no fucking way. Shiba is the coolest nigga of all time, bro.
He is
Like,
him.
I was like, dude, all right, so now that they broke out, they're going to do the 3v3. Shiba just pulled up his fucking pants and said, nah, nigga, run it. Run that shit. Off screen, all three of them. And they're looking up, they're like, Masaka, he's so powerful.
We can do more than teleport.
Oh my god, he's so him.
Where was this guy the entire freaking time?
Bro, the fact that he lights up the cigarette and the next page is him like, tell me the info or else your eye is an ashtray. Oh, that nigga knows he's cold. Oh my god. Bro, that shit was so fire. I love
Bro,
that so much.
I had to fucking wear gloves just to scroll to the next page. That shit was crazy.
Whew, god damn, bro. Yo, Shiba, listen. I always said you were cool, bro. I did not know your game, bro. I was unfamiliar.
I did
How
not know
do
your game was AAA.
That's what I'm saying, bro. How do you glaze a character and you're like, bro, I wasn't doing enough? Like, that's crazy. That's insane, bro. Like, I knew this nigga was nice. I didn't know he was this nice, chat. God damn. Going back a little bit, bad bitch Hiyuki. God, I love you so much.
Dude,
I
he
am
looks really cool in these pages. I don't know what
She
it
looks
is specifically.
sick, dude. The one, it was the page 2 where she's just looking down the stairs. She's like, "You want me to comfort you?" And like her flames are going out. Like, oh my god, dude. Twitter scared the shit out of me, man. Because last week, I was like, man, that was a really cool chapter. We're going to set up a potential battle between Hiyuki and the Hishaku leader. That's going to be awesome. And then Twitter was just like, hey, do you guys think that she'll die? I was like, what? Settle down. Settle down, please. Everyone was like, yeah, they were like, yeah, I think Hiyuki's going to die next chapter. I was like, whoa, can we chill the fuck out? So I went into this chapter with bated breath. And then when the Hishaku guy was like, nah, I'm out of here, I was like, oh, whew, thank God. I was like, oh, thank God, man, because let me tell you, Twitter, hey, Scary place, bruv. Scary place. And now Hiyuki is just gonna off-screen a bunch of random niggas. The baddest of all bitches, man. She's doing it big. It's gonna be awesome. I can't wait. I also like the whole thing with the Hishaku leader, where he's thinking, he's just like, you know, the Sazanami clan, this is their event, bro. I ain't got no parts in this. I'm fucking out of here, dog. Like, I'm fucking gone, bro. This shit ain't got nothing to do with me.
My work here is done. Goodbye.
Yeah, my work here is it's cooked. I'm just here so I can get the Shinuchi. Yeah, I am. I'm out of here, man. I don't need to fight y'all. No, listen, Flom, you gotta stand on that. Mommy, yeah, you gotta stand on that shit, bro. You gotta stand on it. Listen, you're too scared. You gotta call it how it is. I will. Bro, speaking of mothers, I heard Stars and Stripes English VA. Fellas, I whimpered. I ain't gonna lie. She said, I'll beat your ass, boy. I said, oh.
Dude, I love that. I'll still beat your ass, boy.
Oh, I was like, oh, fellas, I need that. See, there you go. Stand on that shit. But, bro, that shit was, yeah, damn, man. But going back into more peak, I like the whole stuff with Tenri and Hakuri in this chapter as well. That's like the whole thing was centered around them being special. And Kyoto being like, hey, man, the Rakuzaichi, we send niggas into a frenzy, bro. We have the streets moving. So it's up to y'all to protect everybody. You two are special. You got this. And just how this sort of led them down the paths that they're on now, where like both of them want their dad's love. I think it's really cool to see like they're just two sides of the same coin, where like Hakuri was just like, he couldn't get that. He was deemed as a failure. And Tenri, in order to avoid being listed as a failure, he's willing to literally give up his life just to receive his father's praises. Now, I doubt he's going to get it. I doubt he is very much going to get it, especially when inevitably people are going to make it to the stage, because that has been something that was also hyped up in this chapter, where Kyoto was like, hey, yeah, no one's ever made it to this stage, boys, and y'all are gonna keep it that way because y'all are real ones. So whenever Shiba or like Chihiro or maybe even Hakuri makes it to that stage, he's gonna be cussing Tenri out, bro. He is not gonna be appreciating that. But just the little bit of him trying to earn his father's love and respect and doing anything he can in his power to like really get that, it's interesting, man. I think this is a nice little comparison between the two. It's kind of a shame because like, again, this goes back to how different the characters are, with Hakuri being like, yo, this is like fucked up, but Tenri is willing to ignore characters suffering and things like that just because he has the base desire of like, well, I want my dad to like me. Like, it's sad. It's really nice having this comparison in the chapter, especially with both of them powering up. Bro, Hakuri, god damn, bro, I'm so excited for him to go crazy.
Get it, man.
Like that last page of him just like, hold on, let me cook Chihiro.
Yep.
that was so fucking sick. And that last bit of him saying just like, what, now that the wall has broken down, it accelerates his blossoming as a sorcerer. Because like we mentioned last week on the podcast, so much emphasis was put on that wall being broken down, and I like that being doubled down on here in this chapter. I'm so excited to see what this motherfucker pulls out, bro. I'm so geeked. Holy shit. But yeah, just really good stuff.
What do you think of the jellyfish?
Bro, as a
JJK flashback.
I was about to say, as a JJK fanboy, you're cooked, Tenri. I'm sorry.
Jellyfish or nothing. But
You are fucking cooked, buddy. It's over for you. It's over for you, buddy. I'm really hyped. I'm hoping next chapter is primarily just about these two fights, or even if it is just like one of the fights, Tenri trying to take on Shiba, or Hakuri trying to figure out a way to beat his brother. I'm hoping we get focus on both, but if it's just one or the other, that would be great too. I'm excited to see what this stuff leads to, man.
Dude, I gotta see, like, just a full chapter of just Shiba fighting. Because he
yeah.
literally already just has, like, just one of my favorite powers ever. It's just fucking teleportation. It's always gonna be fucking cool.
Yeah.
And I love the way he uses it. Like, not even a couple chapters back, where, like, he fights one of the older brothers, and he's like, yeah, I'm gonna just teleport you fucking thousands of feet in the air. It's like, yeah, he could just do that. Why wouldn't you do that?
I was just about to say, like, that, the paneling in that too, where it's like the down shot, like it's just Shiba like looking down at him and like they're in the sky falling. Like, dude, that shit is so sick. I would love to see Shiba fight, because every time Shiba is around, he showcases like just this really like, he's like such a smart fighter, but we never really get to see him cook like that. So I would love to see him like show off his combat prowess, because it looks like he really didn't have to do too much against these niggas. He cooked them.
No.
Yeah. He fucking cooked them. So I would love to see next chapter he actually starts to try a little bit and we get to see more of that combat stuff from him. That would
I want to see what he's actually capable of, because he's been sort of like, it's been very brief things we see of him, just him like teleporting around being cool and stuff, but like, what can he do?
Yeah, man.
Let's see.
I'm ready for a real sorcery fight, man.
You know, the more I look at like that destroyed room, I'm surprised that shit did not collapse. Cause like most of the fucking pillars are nearly crumbled apart.
You are so right. I didn't notice that.
like that shit all looks like it got like bitten out of.
That's what I'm saying, bro. Yeah, each one.
That's Minecraft logic.
You're right.
Each one got hit with fucking hollow purple. They look like Toji after he got hit with it, bro.
Check out Rasengan's. Like...
Yeah. Like, damn, bro, this shit is wild. Yeah.
Rasengan the water tower.
Yeah, bro. Hey, man, these boys got their backs blown out, so it's very fitting. But my man's gonna try to get his get back. Tenry's gonna try to fight for everybody. I don't know how well that's gonna work, especially if Chihiro gets there like later on in the fight and it's a 2v1. I don't know, but hey, man, it should be good. It should be good. But that's really all I have to say on Kagurabachi. It's just fucking peak, bro. It's just really fucking good. Is there anything else you guys would like to say before we get the F on out of here?
Man, I want to get lunch if I'm being real. I'm hungry.
I was about to say, yeah. Comment section, I am very sorry that I have not read all of the comments, but I'm recording with my fans off right now, so you guys don't pick up any extra background noise, and I am fucking sweating like crazy, dude. So I'm ready to wrap this up. I'm ready to go back to work on this AOT video. I'm ready to watch the NBA finals, or not the finals tonight, but the NBA playoffs, and pray that Serbian Black Magic doesn't win for once. I am hoping the Nuggets lose. For once, I am praying the Nuggets lose, and I want the Timberwolves to win. And then we get Mavs Timberwolves, and that would be very good. And then, you know, we just go from there to see what happens in the finals. Very, very good stuff. But anyway, chat, let us know down below what your favorite chapter of the week was. Doesn't have to be anything that we covered here on the podcast. It could be Blue Lock, Blue Box, Kill Blue, Grand Blue, fucking Grand, I said Grand Blue already, Blue Beetle. Yeah, man. Blue period.
Green,
Thank you.
green.
I will kill you if you say green, green, greens. This is a blue household, you know? Kagurabachi, you're so right. You're so right. But of course, let us know whichever your favorite chapter was this week. Thank you guys so much for sticking around, whether it be live or after the fact. And we'll see you guys next week, man. Goodbye.
Yeah.
And good night.